When the girl was only 5 years old, a fortune teller predicted she had a cursed fate that would bring disaster to her husband. She was warned never to marry before turning 30, or she would bring endless misfortune to her husband's family. But when she grew up, Hyeon Soo completely ignored the fortune teller's warning. Right after graduating from college, she married into a wealthy family. Just after their honeymoon ended, both her husband and father-in-law died in a tragic accident. Hyeon Soo was devastated. Her mother-in-law couldn't handle the shock and collapsed, ending up in the hospital. The whole family rushed over to comfort their granddaughter. After learning about the tragedy, her aunt lamented that it was all because of Hyeon Soo's cursed fate. Unfortunately, her mother-in-law overheard this comment. She immediately blamed Hyeon Soo for her husband and son's deaths. She even refused to let Hyeon Soo attend her father-in-law's funeral. Only after Hyeon Soo begged desperately did her mother-in-law soften. Her mother-in-law was so grief-stricken that she stopped eating and drinking, but that night she discovered Hyeon Soo eating heartily, showing no signs of being a woman who had just lost her husband. At that moment, all the rage building up in her mother-in-law's heart exploded. She kicked Hyeon Soo out of the house. No matter how Hyeon Soo knelt and begged, her mother-in-law remained unmoved, with nowhere to go. Hyeon Soo helplessly returned to her parents' home. Her grandmother quickly understood what had happened. When she saw Hyeon Soo's pitiful state, Hyeon Soo's husband and father-in-law had died in a boating accident while fishing at sea. Her father-in-law's body was quickly recovered, but her husband, Yeon-ho, remained missing. So Hyeon Soo went to the police station every day for updates. One day, she learned from the police that the search operation had been stopped. Her mother-in-law had given up looking for her son's body. Unable to accept this, Hyeon Soo went to her mother-in-law, begging her to continue the search. But her mother-in-law believed that only by letting go could her son leave in peace. Poor Hyeon Soo hadn't even registered her marriage with Yeon-ho, so she had no legal right to demand the police continue searching. She had no choice but to give up through tears. Although her mother-in-law had heartlessly kicked her out, Hyeon Soo still worried about her health. She brought home-cooked meals to her mother-in-law's door every day. But one day, she suddenly learned that her mother-in-law had sold the house and moved away without anyone knowing where. Hyeon Soo was completely devastated. The string of blows became too much to bear. Her emotions spiraled out of control, and she suddenly felt a sharp pain in her abdomen. Her family rushed her to the hospital, where they discovered she was pregnant. Hyeon Soo was overjoyed when she learned about the pregnancy. She immediately wanted to tell her mother-in-law the good news, but she couldn't find any trace of her mother-in-law's whereabouts. Although Hyeon Soo couldn't find her mother-in-law, she still decided to have the baby despite her family's objections. 7 years passed in a flash. Through hard work, Hyeon Soo became an excellent fashion designer. Her son grew up healthy under her careful care. Meanwhile, Hyeon Soo's mother-in-law returned to Korea from the United States. She had reconnected with her first love abroad and successfully married into another wealthy family, becoming the wife of a top conglomerate, TS Group. Both mother-in-law and daughter-in-law thought they'd never see each other again, but fate had other plans when the lady's stepson, Do-jin, unexpectedly crossed paths with Yeon Soo. It was the anniversary of Yeon-ho's death. Yeon Soo brought her son to the seaside to pay respects.